Yo, let's go. It's here. It's Errol Spence. The truth. Errol Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia. Early graveyard shift with rap star boxing knowledge. All the way from London, United Kingdom, bruv.
Yo, and it's your boy Calico. You know,
We got D Calico in the house, all the way from America, sharing some of his thoughts about the Errol Spence and Danny Garcia fight. But before we get started, I want D Calico just to, shall we let them hear some of the interviews and what the fighters have been saying as the fight's getting ready for today night. So here we are, early morning graveyard shift, getting ready for this fight tonight for us. And I'm telling you right now, bro, we're hyped up for this fight, D Calico. This is one of the biggest fights for 2020. And it's a much more bigger fight than people ever thought it would have been. You know what I mean, D?
for sure.
It's
Yep,
a big fight, man. Let's run down some of the interviews before we start cooking, bro.
I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah, let's get going, bro.
Yeah, we finna hit them with two of the best. Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman, two of the best. Here we go.
Yeah, respect to the chat. Respect to everyone in the building. Smash that like button. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. It's on. It's here. We're here. Rapstar Boxing Knowledge. D Calico. We're in the house. Let's get going, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that mute button so it don't be no stack. I got
And
you.
me too.
Yes, sir.
Errol Spence is considered one of the real special fighters in boxing. Tall, rangy, a southpaw, can beat you with his jab and defense. Ask Mikey Garcia, but doesn't look to do that. Looks to punish the opponent, knockout power. You have it all. You're a complete fighter, Errol. But Danny Garcia, is also a very good fighter.
Yes, he
He has one close loss, very close loss to Keith Thurman. One wider loss to Sean Porter, but Sean Porter gave you everything you wanted. That was a fight of the year type fight. I thought you won because of the knockdown late, which he got up from, but that was nip and tuck the whole way. How do you plan after this kind of accident, coming back from that, to actually beat Danny Garcia? What's the game plan?
Well, first of all, I thought, I could have beat Sean Porter easy on the outside like I did Mikey Garcia. But, my whole game plan was a Sean Porter fight, even sitting in training camp. I wanted to fight. I wanted to show people that I could beat him on the inside. So that's what I did. Even with Mikey Garcia, I wanted to show people that I can box. Because people said that he had better boxing IQ than me. So I showed people I can box. And with this fight, I'm just going to show everybody that, I'm just all around just a better fighter. On the inside, outside, with the jab, combination, hooks, whatever you want to do in the ring, I could do better than Danny Garcia. But he's a great fighter, iron chin, very tough. But I don't think, even if I was at 70%, Danny Garcia couldn't beat me.
It's interesting that you say that, Listen, I like Danny Garcia a lot. He's 36-2. His only two losses were Keith Thurman and the Sean Porter, just like Max pointed out. But I had you as my top pound for pound, top 2 pound for pound in the world. But Terrence Crawford has ascended, and I know you're not looking ahead because you're smart enough not to look past anybody, and you got to handle your business first. But there are a lot of people, Max included, I don't think I'm stepping out of turn speaking for him here, when we talk about a fight that we desperately want. It is Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford, and you got Terrence Crawford talking about everybody running from him. Nobody want to give him those fights. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, really nothing to say about it. Nobody running from Terrence Crawford. Like I said, I'm coming off a car accident. I had to fight Danny Garcia. Somebody would have picked the tune up, but I'm fighting Danny Garcia. So, I got to get past him to even think about somebody else. So, once I get past Danny Garcia, y'all can ask me questions about Terrence Crawford.
Well, Errol, the reason I think people bring up Crawford is because in the history of boxing, almost never have there been two undefeated boxer punchers who were both elite pound for pound in or around their best weight division in their primes, where it's like a 50-50 fight. So that, to me, that's the best fight in boxing in years that can be made. So with apologies, because I know you got to deal with Danny, but you were the one who came on and said anything he could do, I could do better. So if you indulge us just for 1 second, is the idea that because in the PBC where you are, you guys have all these welterweights, you can fight each other, make money like you're about to against Danny Garcia, that you're waiting out Terrence, see if his contract lapses and he crosses the street and goes with you guys and then fight him? Or do you think you would fight him? Are you interested as a fighter, as a champion, in seeing who the best dude is, like Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns once did, whether or not he's with the PBC?
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in fighting Terrence Crawford. I think it's a great fight. You know, he has a world title. I want to be undisputed welterweight champion of the world, like I said. So I feel like we're gonna have to cross that path soon. But you know, my main goal is Danny Garcia on Fox pay-per-view, and you know, I feel like that's the biggest fight for me right now at this point, especially coming from my car crash. So I have to get him out the way to even think about somebody else. So my 100%, focus is on Danny Garcia right now. And then after that, we can talk about other opponents.
When you think about Danny Garcia, I brought up the fact that he's 36-2. I think he's an exceptional fighter. Obviously, he takes a punch. He has not been knocked out. The brother can fight. When you talk about fighting him, how big of a fight do you think this is for you in terms of how it could potentially catapult you in the mind's eye? Do you think you're already where you want to be, or do you feel like you still have so much to prove because you've been underappreciated and winning this fight could go a long way towards accomplishing a significant cachet for yourself?
I definitely have so more to prove. I mean, Danny Garcia, like I said, his resume, especially at 140, is great. He was unified champion, things like that. I mean, he's a great fighter. And I feel like nobody has really just beat him decisively and really, put a hurting on him or just, punish him. So for me to do that, that would, speak value, especially coming off, years and training layoff. So that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to, have this one-sided, beat, especially in my hometown.
Errol, sometimes when fighters talk about they were trying to do X or Y or Z in a fight, it's excuse making because the performance wasn't great. But in your case, I believe what you're saying. You against Kell Brook in England, you walked him down out and were the boxer puncher and beat him up and knocked him out in a terrific fight. Against Mikey Garcia, it seemed clear to me you were wanting to beat him on the jab and defense, and that's what you did. You were criticized for not knocking him out, but I actually thought it was a brilliant performance, and you did prove that point. Are you saying now that is the goal in this fight, to prove against Danny Garcia that you can go back to the fighter after the car crash that can beat you up, punish you, and knock you out worse than anyone else has done it? That you are using this as a measuring stick, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and that is the point of this fight. Because if you say that, I'll believe you're going to do what you say you're going to do.
Well, first of all, you can exclude out Keith Thurman. That is not going to happen. And secondly, of course, man, I want to make, I just want everybody's been doubting me. Everybody's been saying, is he going to be a shell of himself? Is he the same fighter? And I'm a realist. I'm a real person. I feel like, people should be saying that, because if I see in the car accident, now from the outside looking in, I'll say the same thing. So for me, I just want to put on a great performance, a great show, and show people that, man, he's still beating guys up, punishing them, and just, making them quit mentally and physically. So for me, I'm just gonna, try to put a beating on Danny Garcia and make it the worst beating that he ever had in his boxing career.
Yeah. Rap star
in the house. We here, early morning, graveyard shift from London, United Kingdom. We're cooking this. Errol Spence, The Truth Jr., Danny Garcia. It's on tonight. We can't wait over here, man. How you feeling over there? I mean, look, man, Errol Spence said something there. I just want to share it with everyone. He said even a 70% Danny Garcia couldn't, even if he's at 70%, Danny Garcia can't beat me. Is Errol Spence overpricing himself, overhyping himself?
No.
Wait, let me just speak. Errol The Truth Spence Jr. just said that the 70% of him, even if he was the 70% of what he is as an athlete, Danny Garcia can't beat him. But I just got to disagree on that, just one of those comments there, D. Calico. Because a lot of people, before the car accident and before the Ferrari car crash, whatever happened with a life and death situation, people had Danny Garcia 40% or 45% in that fight anyway. So what does Errol Spence mean, bruh, when he's saying that the 70% of him can still beat Danny Garcia? How does the chat feel about that? How do you feel about that, D?
I mean, I think he's relying on his wisdom, and he's saying that his boxing savvy would carry him over, even if he didn't have the power that he used to have. I think he means like 70% power. You know, it's definitely not mental, or it's not his faculties or his mental abilities that he's saying would be 70%. He's only saying his physical power. Like, you know, he's trying to say, even if I couldn't knock him out, I would outbox this guy, you know, to death. You know?
I mean, you did see though, Errol's very, very confident. He said that, look, bro, at the end of the day, he don't want to talk about Terence Crawford. You heard what he said. He said, don't talk to me. Nobody's ducking Terence Crawford. You heard that, right? He said, nobody cares about Terence.
Yeah.
Let me just beat Danny Garcia and talk to me about Terence after I beat Danny Garcia. Did you hear that, bro?
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, he said, don't talk to me about Terence Crawford, bro. He said, I want to hear about Terence Crawford. Nobody's ducking Terence Crawford. Like, in other words, who's Terence? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I've got to deal with Danny Garcia. So after I deal with Danny Garcia, talk to me about Terence Crawford. So in other words, he's like saying, I'm not ducking the smoke, but just don't talk to me about him right now.
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's do or die for Errol in my book for one reason, because I'm saying this. If he wins, we already know the outcome if he loses. If he loses, it's gonna seem like it's all over. You know, it's only downhill from here. But if he wins, I am willing to say that Errol Spence is the pound for pound the best boxer in boxing if he wins. Because look at all of these fighters. Every fighter there is right now are looking for warm-up fights. You know what I mean? Every fighter is engaging in a warm-up fight. He, on the other hand, fresh off a car accident, is going at a pit bull. You know what I'm saying? He's not going after a warm-up, you know, match. So he's gangster. You know what?
Yeah, but I mean, we got to keep it facts here too, though, D. Calico. Do you think Errol Spence is overhyping it when he said that the 70% of me beats Danny Garcia? Because a lot of people believe that Danny Garcia got 40% or 45% chance in this fight.
But it's like saying when Muhammad Ali beat Cassius Clay. Excuse my language. When Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman, he was 70% of what Cassius Clay was. He was an old man. You know, essentially, compared to Foreman, he was an old man. Foreman was the youngest heavyweight champion ever until Mike Tyson. You know, and this guy was older, way older. So he was like a 70% after all of the wars and battles he'd been through with Frazier and all those guys. He was 70% of Cassius Clay. Muhammad Ali was. But he still, with all that wisdom, was able to, you know, make the young guy look like a dope. You know?
Yeah, but we never see Muhammad Ali go through a life and death experience, getting injected out of a car, smashing his jaw. Wait. Smashed his jaw and then got knocked out at the car accident. We've never seen Muhammad Ali come from those injuries in order to come back in the ring.
That's why
face a good opponent.
Yeah, that's why I'm comparing Errol to an old man, because he did go through that. But that doesn't mean we would definitely find out what it means, because everybody's not the same.
Yeah, so this is called conspiracy theory. Let's just keep this shit real over here, right? A lot of people are saying if Danny Garcia wins this fight, he ain't gonna get the credit because there could be something wrong with Errol's resistance. When I say resistance,
pain.
You might be able to give a lot, but as soon as you get to take it, it might not feel the same. Now, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with Errol, but there is a big conspiracy theory about is Errol back at his 100%?
See, me being, I'm pretty sure mostly everybody has, had a car accident, maybe, some maybe not that serious. But me having been in a car accident, my only, and I've been through rumble. I had a rumble after the car accident, and the only thing I would say about Errol is that after the fight, he's gonna hurt. It don't matter if he win or lose. He is gonna hurt after the fight. But I hope he don't let that deter him, because his healing process is gonna be longer than other people. Not to say he can fight twice in a year. It's just saying that he could win very much so, but he will hurt very much after the fight because of the car accident. But that don't mean it's gonna inhibit him during the fight, because adrenaline and determination and his the shape that he's put his body in is gonna carry him over. But that next day, he's gonna hurt a lot.
Well, I want to just get to some of the messages. Jed Carter said that it depends what kind of Errol Spence Jr. turns up in the ring tonight. And if Errol looks good and Danny edges the fight out, then he will get some credit. And if Errol wins and smokes Danny Garcia, this is what I want to get to next. But give me a chance first before I get to that. As I add somebody into the stream, Calico, right?
The show. Yeah.
What up, bro?
How are you, brother? How are you going, mate? Good?
Australia in the house. Introduce yourself to the panel, to the channel, to the viewers, to the subscribers, bro.
Yeah, it's Jed Kyle from South Sydney. How you going, lads? Good?
Are you guys excited about the fight tonight?
Yeah, I can't wait. Well, it's actually it's tomorrow about lunchtime for us, but yeah, I can't wait for this fight tomorrow, bro. Excited as. How about you?
Oh, mate, we can't wait. It's one of the biggest fights for us in England right now, the 2020, as we go down to the fourth quarter. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. It's a huge
I just want to say something. I just want to say something first. Full credit to Errol Spence. Taking a challenge like this after the car accident shows what a real fighter this lad is. He definitely is the truth. And I can't say enough good words about him coming back to a challenge like this. He's a straight G. He's a real fighter, this kid, He really is the real deal, taking a fight this hard, coming off an accident. I got all the respect in the world for him. So, full credit to the lad.
Real. I agree.
All right, let me just get to this, Jed. We got to give him full credit. But what that means is Errol the Truth Spence Jr. from Dallas, Texas. He's ready for Danny Garcia. Otherwise, he would never have took that fight. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I agree, but I still giving him credit anyway because he'd have an excuse to take a tune-up fight. And to me, this ain't no tune-up fight. This is a legit challenge. I had Danny Garcia and Porter fight 50. That could have gone either way to me. So for Errol to come and fight this guy after an accident, I got all the respect in the world for Spence as a fighter. He's definitely the real deal, man. I'm really happy he's taken this challenge. And you can't ask much more for as a fan, than what he's doing.
Jed, I'm gonna come back to you. I want your
no worries, lad.
I want your predictions. Can you please mute when they're not speaking, and then unmute when I ask you to speak? Yeah. All right. Major Key Boxing in the house. What's happening, my brother from another mother?
Major Key.
Is that you, Major Key, or is that a troll, bro?
Yeah, you had to hang that up.
All right, my bad. I didn't realize. Hold on. I didn't realize I had it on fucking mute, bro. I was over here talking shit.
All right, let me introduce you again. Major Key Boxing in the house. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, brother? Listen, man, I apologize. I was talking shit so much over here, then I realized that I was on mute, and I was like, oh, damn, I'm on mute. But no, Jed Kyle, you know what? Shout out to Jed Kyle too, man. Look, there's certain people that I see over the YTBC always talking and always saying the same thing, and they keep it always 100 or what they believe. You know what I mean? And that's one of them. Judd Kyle always keeps it 100 with what he believes. You know what I mean? He doesn't care if people like him or if they don't like him. He just says what he feels, and that's the way it's supposed to be.
Are
You
you
know?
ready for the fight tonight, Major Key?
What?
Are you ready for this fight tonight, Errol the Truth
Of
Spence
course
Jr.
I am, bro.
against
Of
Danny
course
Left
I
Hook
am. What
Garcia?
do you mean? What do you mean? And look. I've got money betted against this fight. I got a friend that's a casual that thinks Danny Garcia is going to win, and I don't blame him. Because I could see that there's an opportunity for Danny Garcia to win, but my boxing knowledge tells me that Errol Spence wins hands down. You know, and so that's what it is. It's not that I'm biased in any way. It's just that Errol Spence should win based on what the you know when you just studying stuff, it's like Errol Spence should win. That's it. You know, but obviously, Danny Garcia has a good chance. So I can't get mad at people for saying that Danny Garcia has a good chance. But if I bet my own money on it, if I had to bet my kids, their whole school,
The future.
I'm gonna bet on Danny on Errol Spence, not Danny Garcia. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
All right, Major Key, let me get to the next brother in the house. I think this is Transcend Sports. Is this you, Carlo, bro?
Yeah, man, it's just me. I just wanted to say hi and what's up. Major Key, what's up, man? Long time no see.
I love you, brother. How you doing, Carlo?
I want
Yeah,
you to introduce
just-
yourself to the chat, bro. I want you to tell everybody how they can find you and what's your new channel, bro.
Yeah, my new channel is Transcended Sports Channel. It's about sports, from talking about all different sports in the world, especially when it comes to boxing. It's my channel is still undergoing right now, but it will be fine more easy, and then my videos dropping pretty soon, whether it's tonight or tomorrow. We'll see. Rapstar, God bless, bro. I was actually with Black and Brown and Major Key here actually earlier. I just want to drop in and say hi, but I just gotta go. I gotta do some work.
All right, bro. Nice for popping in. Nice for sticking around. If you want to give a prediction in the fight, you're more than welcome to hang around. If you want to come back,
I'll
you're
give
more
a
than
prediction
welcome
right
to
now
come
if you
back.
don't mind before
I
we
need to go. I need to go around right now. So Transcend, if everybody can mute until I ask you the question, it kind of makes it a bit clearer for everybody to listen at home.
All right.
All right, bro. So look, man, the fight's here, bro. Danny Garcia, Errol Spence. And all I'm going to say right now, yeah, is there going to be excuses if something don't go right for Errol in the fight? That's number one. That's the first question. If Danny Garcia wins in a tough fight, does he get the credit and the credibility from all the boxing world that a man beat Errol Spence Jr.? Let me go to that question first to somebody like D. Calico.
I mean, I wouldn't say an excuse, but it's definitely gonna be a reason behind him losing. Not to say, that Danny isn't just good enough, because we all know every boxer has a puncher's chance, and Danny's one of those type. But Errol's not quite that type, So we don't expect nobody to hit the ground, to touch the canvas, but it still should be like a real, technical slugfest. Every counter punch should be like power punches. It's gonna be brutal.
All right, but let me just give it a broad mind platform here. How does Danny win this fight? Because we know we're gonna get to Errol anyway. We know Errol's the favorite. We already know what's gonna happen with Errol. But how does Danny win this fight? Does he have a chance?
He got a counter punch his way to victory, and he got to turn Errol Spence's head around when he at least.
He cannot outbox Errol Spence. He will not win those rounds if you think you're gonna outbox Errol Spence. You got hurt Errol Spence.
But if Errol Spence is like really trying to attack him like consistently, then that gives Danny a 50-50 chance. But if he actually, makes Danny, shows how boring Danny is and doesn't try to attack him, make Danny attack him, because Danny said he's gonna knock him out. So Danny should be attacking. And if Danny attacks, then I expect Errol to just show him something.
But how does Danny attack a guy who always outboxes and has a great work rate? How does Danny Garcia set the pace, right, and set his traps up and try and get on the inside with Errol Spence? How are you going to try and hurt Errol? You got to get in the inside. So, Errol Spence work rate and to the body, and the way that Errol Spence can adapt, he's a great boxer all round.
A major key. How would you say, or what would you say Danny Garcia's keys to victory are?
Yo, Major Key, you're late in the game again. Where you at, bro?
Oh, Jed. I'm pretty sure. Jed.
All right, let's go to Jed and we come back to Major. Hey, Jed, how does Danny Garcia win this fight?
My bad.
Okay, all right, Major Key's back. Major Key's back.
I keep hitting the fucking mute mic, man. I was talking to you guys, bro. Like, I was so fucking
love you.
I thought I was making points and shit, and then you're like, oh, well, no Major Key here, Damn, bro, like, my bad.
Major Key, how does Danny Garcia break it down for the viewers?
Listen.
How does he win?
My man, you was not lying earlier. Like, who's on here besides you, Rapstar, your boy?
Yeah, Calico.
Okay, we talked the other day, and then we were mad cool. Yes, I remember you. Yeah, that's dope because you actually have some boxing knowledge. So I already know that we're gonna understand what I'm talking about right now. So what I'm saying is that look. So let's take it away, right? Let's take it away from what's going on right now. What everybody sees as just Errol Spence, the guy that's in the clouds and shit like that, and Danny Garcia, the guy that lost, that he used to be in the clouds. You understand what I'm saying? Like it's just like okay, like we see these guys, but they don't really exist, and then all of a sudden, the as far as the socials, the pugilists understand, but the socials just like, who the fuck are these guys? Whatever. You know what I mean? And we're supposed to pay for that, $74.99. We're supposed to pay for that, right? So okay, so now we have pugilists paying for it. I don't believe that it's going to build up to Mike Tyson's numbers, and that's their problem because they could have promoted that better during the Mike Tyson fight, but that's on them, right? However, when it comes to the fighting match itself, man, he has such a flat-footed stance. I'm talking about Danny Garcia, right? And this other dude is punch drunk, right? And it's crazy because Errol Spence should win easily on paper, to me at least. But now, and people always ask me, oh, was it before the accident or after the accident? No, I thought that Danny Garcia always had a chance, period. But now he has even more of a chance, to me. And the reason why is because, look, man, like the dude sounds a little punch drunk. And let's be honest, the way he's talking, and I know he got a southern slang, that shit ain't even southern, bro. That shit is way southern, bro. That shit ain't. I live in the South, bro. I've been in the South for a long time. That shit ain't no southern slang, bro. That shit is some fucked up shit right there going on. But anyway, and I'm not laughing at him, but I'm just saying, like somebody needs to pay attention to that. And then Danny Garcia, you know what I mean? His problem is that, okay, so you're fighting a southpaw. You always have a problem with southpaws. And now, what are you going to do if you flat-footed? Are you going to get your foot outside of his left foot? Or his right foot, I mean. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to get your left foot outside of his right foot? No, you're not going to do that. Not for 12 rounds, because you're flat-footed. So what's going to happen? You're not going to get your left hook in. And that's the whole point. That's his best punch, is the left hook. You know what I mean? So I don't see Garcia winning because of that.
Okay.
I just had to break it down. I apologize for taking so long, but I had to break it down like that because I don't see Danny Garcia getting his left foot, being so flat-footed, outside of Errol Spence's right foot, which is the whole point when you're an orthodox fighter fighting in a southpaw. He's not going to do that. And we're not talking about an ordinary southpaw. We're talking about Errol Spence Jr. You feel
So
me?
let me just tell everybody, Major Key Boxing says he doesn't see a way Danny Garcia can win this fight, as he explained it to everybody. All right, let's
That's
go to
facts.
Jed Carl.
That's fact.
All right, yeah, Major Key, I'm coming back to you. All right, let's keep cooking. Can you please mute everyone while I talk to Jed Carl? Jed, I want to know from you, how does Danny Garcia win, and what's his game plan against Errol the Truth Jr.?
Sorry, can you hear me, mate? Can you hear me now, brother?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, bro.
Yeah, the only way I could see Danny winning this fight, because Danny's a real good counterpuncher. He has to try and catch Errol when Errol comes on the inside. Because I can only see Danny winning this fight if he knocks Errol out. If he can catch him with that left hook when he comes up close. Because Errol's one little flaw, to me, his biggest flaw, he doesn't move his head. His head movement isn't the best. So Danny needs to try and catch him with that left hook and knock him out. Because if he doesn't knock him out, I can't see him winning. Because Errol will out jab him from distance and on the inside up close when they get working. I think Errol will fuck him up on the inside. And I think he fucks him up from distance as well. Errol's just a more well-rounded and better fighter to me. So Danny Garcia's only chance is to score a knockout by hurting him bad with that left hook, which he is capable of because he's a real good counterpuncher. But other than that, if it goes 12 rounds, Errol's just too good for Danny, I think, mate.
All right, you heard it over here from Dan and Under. Jed Cole says the only way Danny Garcia can beat Errol the Truth Junior Spence or Spence Jr. is by knocking him out. The only way Danny Garcia wins this fight is if he can hurt Errol Spence and knock him out. So there's
by countering him with a counter left hook.
Outboxing him, Jed Cole, is there?
No, I don't think so, mate. Errol's too good. Errol's just the better fighter to me. He can fight on the inside better, and he can beat him at distance. Errol's a bit underrated as a boxer to me, even. Like, he's got a great jab. He understands distance really well, and he just has a real high ring IQ, which people sleep on, I think, a bit.
All right, well, excellent. And let me get back to you about something else. I'm going to go to Transcend Sports now. But before I go there, I just want to read out a couple of messages. Jeremy, I think it's Jeremy Lingales, says Danny is like Floyd. Lance Mayer says, at the end of the day, he just wants to see a great boxing match. Don Ramon says, the only way Danny can win, Don Ramon says, is by a knockout. So Don Ramon agrees with Jed Carl that the only way Danny Garcia can win this fight is if he gets a knockout. But I will like
Don Ramon knows what's up.
Yeah, I'd like to say this to you before Transcend comes on the panel. Is what about if Danny Garcia might just, hurt Errol with a left hook and then be able to outbox him because he's hurt him, and then because he's hurt him, it's changed the pace of the fight. Could that happen? I just want to ask.
Possibly, but Errol's got too much. He's got too much. He's like a pit bull in there. He won't give in. He loves to fight. I don't think that will deter him. Errol Spence is one of them fighters. You've got to kill him to stop him. The kid's got the heart of a lion, and I think that won't be enough to keep him off him for 12 rounds. That won't deter him at all. I don't think he'll recover from that and come back twice as hard. He's that type of fighter.
Hey, you heard it right here from Down and Under. Jed Cole, give me a sec. Can you mute? I just want to go to Transcend Sports.
Yeah, also, brother, I just got to get out for a bit. I'll come back later, lad. I've got to go out for a minute. I'll come back later, bro, if you're still on, all right?
Thanks for stopping by, Jed.
Yeah. I'll come back later on if you're still on, my bro, all right, lad? All right, see you later.
All right, my brother from Australia. Hey, yeah, Transcend Sports. Let us know what you're thinking, man. How can Danny Garcia win this fight? And break it down.
Well, honestly, what you said earlier, remember, if it's Danny gets credit if he wins because of what with Errol Spence. To your point, Errol Spence picked this fight, right? So there's not really excuses for him nor Danny. So I think Danny will win. Hold up, brother. Something's happening. I'll be right back. Hold on, okay? You guys are like going back right now. I'll be right back.
Okay. So Transcend says that he thinks Danny can win, but he has to go somewhere and he'll be back.
Hey,
Look, man.
stop.
Yeah, go ahead.
And we got Burley Brooks, who sparred with Errol Spence recently.
I've met Burley Brooks in
Did you-
Texas. I've already met Burley Brooks in Errol's gym, but we'll get to that later. When I came over for the Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence fight,
No, I'm saying Burley Brooks sparred with Errol Spence.
I know, and he's a 168 pounder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And he got an interview he just did today about Errol Spence and Danny Garcia fight. His prediction.
Okay, you want to go? You want to play it?
Yeah, it's only 2 minutes. I'm gonna play.
All right. Have you got it rolling?
Yes, right now.
FightHype.com here with Burley Brooks. Burley, man, 6-5 knockouts. People know you train with Errol Spence. What can people expect from the style that you fight with?
They can expect fast and aggressive boxing punches. When you come in, I'm gonna show that it's just I take over the side, show ring general shit. Try to take over one side, fight.
Being that you train at Errol, do you fight it all like? Well, I know you said boxer puncher. Do you have a similar look to how Errol fights?
Came up around the sparring for years. That's all the beef. I have the same thing to say. A lot of people understand the beef. I resemble the beef But I just try to be myself.
What you learn from sparring with Errol?
I learned a lot. I learned IQ. I learned patience. I learned how to control the ring. I learned how to box. I learned how to place my shots and how to place my shots. I learned a lot.
How do you expect this fight to go tomorrow night with Danny?
Man down.
And Burley, gotta ask just because people are wondering, how did Errol feel in this training camp? Thanks, Burley. Good luck tomorrow night. Thank you.
Yo.
Yeah, Burley Brooks is Errol Spence's fighter. He fights for Errol Spence's promotional company. And also, he's a 168 pounder who spars with Errol Spence.
Yeah.
So he's saying Errol's on point.
Yeah.
He's saying Errol's ready. You know what I mean? There's nothing holding Errol back. But I would like to say that some of the people in the chat have made a good comment. And I don't know who it was. Let me check who it was. Right. So Joe DC says that when and if Danny Garcia, if he lands a big shot, that's when we're gonna know if Errol's jaw and Errol is good at his resistance and his, you know what I mean, he can take the shot. I think that's a big whether we like it or not, that's become a big factor in this fucking fight. It is what it is, bro. Everybody around the world just keeps saying the same thing. Yeah, but we don't know if Errol's still exactly the same. So it's when Danny Garcia, if he lands that big shot, it's going to be the big factor in the fight for everybody to see that Errol's got no problems. He's still got a granite chin. How do you feel about that?
Let me ask you a question, brother. You hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Yeah. You know me. You're my brother, bro. But let me ask you a serious question. So I've been around a lot of channels leading up to this fight, and everybody has Danny Garcia looking like a fool. And do you think that he's a fool?
Danny Garcia is a true fighter, bro. Danny Garcia is the real deal.
So what would you say to these dudes that think that he's a fool, that like he has no chance at all? Because I think that's foolish of people. It's almost like they don't understand boxing.
Well, let's let everybody know this already, Major Key, that before the accident, everybody had Danny Garcia in this fight at least 40%.
Right.
So it's not like Danny Garcia isn't in the fight.
Exactly.
A lot of people think that Danny Garcia got robbed in the Sean Porter fight.
Great fucking point. Great funny. The great point that you just made is at least 40%, right? So that means that it's like 2 to 3, right? 2 to 3.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. That's actually accurate. I had it more like 50 to 60, but I'm not 50. I'm sorry, 45 to 55. But whatever anybody says, it's all good, But hey, at the end of the day, you're right. You're right. Absolutely, 1,000%. This is a close fight, man. Um, Danny Garcia has a lot of work to do because on paper, Errol Spence should win this fight easily. He should win this fight. I already bet against my friend. My friend, he's a casual. He thought Danny Garcia was gonna win, and I'm like, okay, I'll take your money. You know what I mean? I'm not actually gonna take his money. I'll buy some shots that night. You know what I mean? When he loses money, I'll use his own money against him and buy some shots. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, like, to be honest with you, man, like, come on, man, like you cannot say that it's like just a wash. Like how some of these people are trying to say it's a wash against Danny Garcia. There's no wash here. There's no
There's a lot
wash.
of people. Let me just stop you here, Major Key. I want you to continue. But there's a lot of people said that Errol Spence might even stop Danny Garcia. He should stop him. But nobody's ever stopped Danny Garcia. I've never seen a fighter
Yeah.
ever
Anybody
stop
that
Danny
says that,
Garcia.
I'm sorry to say, bro. I'm sorry to say, bro. But anybody that said that he's supposed to stop Danny Garcia is not like they're not understanding boxing. They're just fanboys of Errol Spence because Danny Garcia has never even been like to that point. Like he's gotten a little rocked once in a blue, like like a little bit, and he's fucking held. When he's gotten rocked, he's fucking rocked the next person.
See. The thing amazing about Danny's chin is that his defense is not impeccable, but he still can take the punch no matter fucking what. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he got a chin and he counters. He's a counter.
Yeah.
He's a counter puncher, bro, and then he's got a chin on top of that.
Errol got a great chin, but he also has better defense. So we've never seen him just take some of the blows. Danny has chewed. He chewed it up and spit it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not saying that Danny's gonna win, but Danny's not gonna get knocked out, bro. I can guarantee that at least. You know what I mean? He's not gonna get knocked out. You know what I mean? Like I know Errol Spence is nice.
He would have to fight totally different. He would have to put his hands down and stick his chin out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he doesn't do that. He got a showboat. He gotta be like, oh, just hit me.
But I'm gonna tell you this right now. The whole boxing world is waiting for Danny Garcia to land something big to see if Errol can take it.
But the way Danny's talking, it seems like he's gonna run at him. Like he's gonna want to run up on him. He's like,
yeah, but when have you ever seen Danny run
that's
up on
Angel. That's
like
Angel. That's not Danny. That's Angel.
Okay.
You feel me though? You feel me? That's Angel. This is Pops. Pops talk a lot of shit, bro.
Yeah, you do. Pops in Pops' eyes, Pops is in the ring.
Angel Garcia is crazy, bro.
Hey, rap star. Hey, I just want to ask you on the sidebar right quick. How you feel about Tyson Fury's dad calling out Mike Tyson?
Man, we gotta talk about all this another day, bro. I don't want to talk about that. I want Mike Tyson to do what he gotta do. You know what I mean? Mike Tyson don't need to fight nobody, bro. He fight who he wants to fight, yeah. But what I do want to keep cooking right now, bro. This is the big fight night tonight. It is here. It's in Texas. It's in Arlington, I think. In where is it? In the Dallas Cowboy, the second stadium. Is that correct?
It's in the stadium. Is it going to be a crowd?
It's not in the main stadium. It's in their like practice stadium, right? And I think there's going to be a crowd over there. You're going to have a good crowd over there in Texas today. And the big fight's here, bro. Danny Garcia, Errol Spence. And I'm telling you now, bro, no matter what happens, it's the fight in the first round and the second round. I got to see how Errol takes a shot. I'm still one of these people after the accident, I've still got these questions. Because let me just ask you this, D. Calico. When you're sparring, you're using head guards and 16-ounce gloves, right? So you're not exposed to your face as you would be in a real fight. So do you think Danny Garcia is going to go for some of his big shots and see if Errol can take it? Let's go to whoever, bro. D. Calico.
That's what I'm almost banking on. And I don't, I know to me that makes him vulnerable, even more so because it's not, it's not gonna be easy to just beat up on Spence, unless the injury. Like Spence literally said out his own mouth that if he said if I lose to Danny, something is wrong. Huh? He literally said that out of his own mouth. So he's banking on that he's healthy, but he says personally, like, man, if I lose to him, something's wrong. So he doesn't think nothing's wrong, but like you say, that pad and all that stuff, we're gonna find out. We're gonna really find out.
Are you worried about Spence in any way, D Calico? Because you're a Spence fan anyway. I'm a Spence fan.
Yeah,
Are you worried about him in any way?
Yeah,
any shape or fucking form.
But hopefully I won't be after this fight, because if he wins, I won't be no more. I won't be worried about nothing.
But you are a little bit. There's a little bit about you that you want to know to yourself, is Errol the Truth Spence back?
See, I feel like, to be honest with you, Danny, to me, can slightly hit harder than Terrence Crawford. He just can't combinate you like a Terrence Crawford. He can't really lay hands on you as many times as Crawford could. But I feel like Danny actually hits harder than that guy. And it's going to be a good test. We're going to get to see if Errol's chin is what it used to be. And if it is, I think Danny's eyes might get big. He might be like, oh, damn. You know what I'm saying? Because if he thinks it's best, then everybody knows it's going to tell the world, oh, shit, Errol's back. And it's going to be a war from that point. It's going to be a war.
So before we go to this topic, I want to finish with this topic. Danny Garcia can only win against Errol Spence if he hurts him or he knocks him out. There is no way else he can outbox him.
He goes both ways.
He cannot outjab him. He's not got the reach like Errol. He doesn't have.
Can I explain?
Yeah, no, Major Key, we're coming to you right now. So is that the only way Danny Garcia can win? He can only win by knockout or hurting him. Go on, Major Key.
Yeah, no. I actually believe that again, Errol Spence should win this easily, right? However, it's because Danny Garcia is flat-footed and he's a counterpuncher, and he has trouble against southpaws, and this is the whole problem, man. Like it's like a multi-problem. It's like you have to understand how to get on the outside, and what's the best punch when you're going on the outside, when you're an orthodox fighter fighting a southpaw? It's your right. It's not your left. And Danny Garcia is known for his left. You see what I'm saying? Like, so there's no real conclusion for Danny Garcia there when it comes to that. However, he could bring Errol Spence into the fight one-on-one, and then really bring him into the engagement and really hit him with the rights and the left. However, that's unlikely, unless the only person that could it's really like what Punch said last night. It's Spence versus Spence. It's really not Spence versus Danny. It's Spence versus Spence.
Whoa, that's deep.
Unfortunately for Danny, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's Spence versus Spence.
Yeah, but that means before we go into this big fight tonight, you're saying if Danny wins, he ain't gonna get that much credit.
No, I would give. He's gonna get a lot of credit. He's gonna get a lot of credit because Danny Garcia and his whole training camp said that he was ready for it. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to it, right? He doesn't really have a shot, Danny, unless there's certain things in place. He has to do certain things perfectly, and I don't think that he's going to do those things perfectly. If that makes sense, I don't know if anybody's feeling what I'm saying, but he has to do certain things perfectly.
Hey, see, for Danny, it's such an experiment, even fighting Spence, that number one, he got to let his hands fly, and he's going to have to punch everywhere to try to find a weakness. You know what I mean? And by doing that, that's just like I said, that's exposing it so much. But I think that's the only way we know if this guy's healthy. You know what I mean? Like I want to see Danny. Like if Danny just went head hunting the whole fight, it would be dumb. I gotta see some body blows. We gotta know if Spence can take 100 of those. You know what I'm saying? We gotta know it. You know, if it's gonna go 12 rounds, we want to see all of that. We don't want him to have a low percentage. You know, punch percentage. We want it to be, a lot of connecting on the punches. You feel me? For real.
I want to get to Transcend Sports. Transcend Sports is back in the building. He had to go off. So Transcend, let's touch on this subject, bro. What happens with Danny Garcia? Have you given him any chance to win? And how does he win?
Well, of course I give him a chance to win. This is boxing. You know, a punch can change everything, right? We all know that. Like we all have that saying, all of us, that we don't play boxing, right? So he does have a chance. He has a puncher's chance, but he's not. We all know that Errol Spence, Errol Spence is the favorite in this fight, and Danny is the underdog, right? So for Danny to in order for Danny to win this fight, I believe he has to do three things. One is that he needs to counter Errol Spence as he jabs, right, with hooks. Errol Spence has a great jab. You know, he did that with Mikey Garcia. He kind of used it with Sean Porter when Sean Porter was a little bit more rough, but Errol Spence has a great jab. He used it with with Mikey. He used it with Kell Brook. You know, he even used it with what's his name, Chris Algieri, right? So Danny needs to effective counter. So like with the hook, I believe he needs to move around with the ring. He cannot stay in the pocket with Errol Spence, because Errol Spence can be a hell of a bully when you're in the pocket, and he can wear you down. So he needs to counter with when Earl needs to jab. He needs to move around. He cannot stay in the pocket too long. And thirdly, he needs to dictate the pace of the fight. If look at the last fight of Errol Spence, Sean Porter gave Errol Spence a hard time because he was dictating the pace sometimes in the middle of the rounds and bullying Errol Spence a little bit, and Errol Spence got caught some big shots. So, and bear in mind, we don't know the condition of Errol Spence right now because of the accident. Now, we all know that he said he's okay, so it's really up to him. He said if he thinks he's fine, he's fine. But we don't know if he can handle a punch after a scary accident like that. So with Danny's a good counterpuncher, right? So he does have power, but is it enough to overpower Errol Spence? We don't know. Like I can give Danny some chances, but ultimately I believe that Errol Spence can just box with Danny. I think Errol Spence needs to use his jab. He needs to be defensively responsible because after the accident, so you don't know if he gets hit. And Errol Spence needs to be a bully, and he needs to go downstairs to the body to slow down Danny, and then ultimately probably a late KO or like dominate the fight. But for me, I think I'll give Danny a puncher's chance. Like I said, he needs to counter when he can effectively. He needs to move around the ring. He cannot stay in the pocket, and he needs to dictate the pace from the beginning. So to get Errol Spence some respect, I think he has a chance, but we don't know. I don't think he does, but we'll see. What do you guys think about that? What do you think of that breakdown?
Well, Transit Sports says, the only chance he gives Danny Garcia, and that's like what a lot of fans are saying as well, is if he hurts Errol Spence. He cannot outbox Errol Spence. You see what I'm saying? And he's not going to be able to either out jab Errol Spence. Errol's got the reach, and Errol's definitely knows how to outbox a lot of boxers. His work rate's pretty high up there, and Errol will walk you down. The problem is here: how does Danny Garcia get into the right place at the right time and left it, and and let those left hooks go? Because let's not forget, people forget, Danny Garcia can punch with both hands. He knocked out Brandon Rios with a right hand too. So he can punch with his right and his left. But how does he get in the pocket like that, bro? How does Errol Spence? But you made a good point. I like the point that you made, that how Errol Spence psychologically might be defensive because of his injuries that he's sustained through the car crash. Now, let me ask you guys this. Psychologically, if this is something happened to you and you've had new teeth, your jaw was busted up, are you going to be a little bit thinking I got to protect myself a little bit differently this time in the fight? And also, let me ask D Calico this, and then I'm going to get back to Transcend. This is going to be a good question. Did you see what happened to Dylan White against the Povetkin fight? Did you see how Dylan White got knocked out?
Yeah, cold. Dead.
He got knocked out cold, didn't he? Is that a worse injury than what happened to Errol Spence when Errol got injected out of a Ferrari, hit his jaw?
I mean, of course not.
And Errol got knocked out after the car accident. He went through a life and death situation. But Dylan White got knocked the fuck out in a boxing ring.
But that was in the boxing ring.
Right. So which one's worse? Is it worse to Errol Spence's injuries, and what happened to Errol is way worse than what happened to Dylan White, isn't it?
If anything, you got to compare it to like Big Ben Roethlisberger or somebody. You know, Big Ben Roethlisberger had a motorcycle accident. You know, like a motorcycle is worse than a Ferrari. You know, because you're gonna get ejected no matter what. You know, so guys like him are still some people are built to play football, some people are built to play golf. You know, and like Nate Robinson proved, a lot of basketball players aren't quite built for for wear and tear.
Yeah, but I'm just asking you a question, my brother. Did you see in a ring, a man can get injured in the ring, can't they? Right? You just saw what happened to Dylan White.
Yeah.
Right? That was a brutal knockout, wasn't it?
See, it's almost like basically what we're looking at with Errol Spence's injuries was all cosmetic. You know? So, he's so, I guess we could say blessed. He's so blessed that he came out as good as he did. The only thing was cosmetic. It's like saying he got ejected. I mean, he, went through glass, which cut him. Then he, of course, would have skidded and slid on concrete. So that's some skin getting hurt. He got hurt. But
Don Ramon on the chat says, Errol looks a little bit suspect, maybe maybe when he comes back on his health. But we don't know this. I mean, look, let me just say this. We've come to a position that we've never had a fighter who's been a big fighter like Errol Spence, who's come out of a similar car crash. Or, what's that guy's name? Vinny Panenza? The guy who broke his neck in a car. What's that guy's name? And he's a boxer, and he came back. And he came back to do great things. But we've not really seen many boxers in Errol's position who's come out of a car crash and, been knocked out at a car crash, fixed his jaw up, got his teeth organized. I mean, that still takes a hit on you. So at the end of the day, it is conspiracy theory. Whether we like it or not, it's just made the fight way bigger than the fight would have been, if that makes any sense, bro.
But would you have more faith in a guy who he is knocked out from such a serious car accident, or for somebody who got his knocked out in the boxing ring and got him replaced? How would you feel? What's going to happen in the boxing ring again to that guy? We might all fear what Errol Spence and a Ferrari might do, but we don't really fear you know, his if we don't see danger coming his way in the boxing ring, you know, but we do fear him in a Ferrari, you know what I mean, a Lamborghini. We don't want to see him stunting like that, you know, for real.
I mean, it all depends how you look at it, bro. At the end of the day, Errol has come out of a horrific situation. And just like Transcend Sports said, he might want to be a bit more defensive and protect himself, you know, a little bit differently, like he would have done in a fight.
Yeah.
Maybe psychologically, it can play a part.
If I was Errol, there would be no more changing up styles every fighter. I'm not doing. I wouldn't do that no more. From now on, everybody would have to outbox me, and nobody can do that. You know, I'm not gonna play their game. You know how the Mayweathers and all of the great boxers do. Every now and then, you know, they'll fight your fight and do something that people think they can't do. But he doesn't need to do that. He don't need to do that. You know, he don't need to overextend himself. He needs to just box. And if a guys are scared to, you know, come get him, then he doesn't need to even overextend himself. You know,
Yeah,
it's
but a lot of people want Errol Spence to, you know, they're expecting a great victory. They want Errol the Truth Spence to come back and smoke Danny Garcia.
they want him to stalk him, run him down, you know, really brawl him. You know, but I
Yeah,
don't.
a lot of people, are saying this is going to be Danny Garcia's worst loss.
Yeah, but not if he's not. I wouldn't. I don't think it's gonna be about stalking him down. Now, if they would have fought before the car accident, he would have walked him down for 12 rounds. You know, because you know this guy has never felt pain. The car accident was the first time. You know, search every boxer that's pretty much impeccable eventually runs into some pain. You know what I mean? Like everyone. You know.
Yeah, CPRS in the chat, one of our guys in the chat and subscribers have said it was Vinny Paz. Vinny Paz had a big car accident, broke his neck, but he came back from it much stronger and did great things. But look, Errol didn't really did that much injuries. It's really his injuries is in his face. It was his jaw. It was his teeth. It was the. But the point is, he did get knocked out. He didn't get no bleeding in the brain. There
Yeah.
was there was nothing, which was, you know.
Yeah, none of his extremities or anything like that. You know.
Yeah, he's blessed by God, man. Lot of people, not a lot of people would have ever made that accident.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot of people would have survived that car crash for sure.
And to be looking like almost like nothing happened. You know what I mean? Like it's amazing. That's why I feel like, you know, we going off the look, you know, we judging off what the accident has done to him, acting like that matters, you know, like that's gonna matter in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
So we should we be as fans, right? Fuck that accident. Forget
No,
what happened in the past. It's been
no,
11 months,
no.
right?
This is the
No,
first.
no, no, let me speak though. Fuck that accident. It's been 11 months, right? Errol Spence, the Truth Jr. got offered a tune-up fight by PBC and Al Heyman. Errol Spence got offered a fight with a person like, what's that guy's name? Redcliffe. What's his name? That anyway, some you know what I mean? Some tune-up fights. He got offered some tune-up fights. He said, fuck that. He started training. He was in shape. He's been sparring. You know what I mean? He got a good camp around him. Derek James ain't gonna. And then he says, "No, I want to fight Danny Garcia." So you can only respect that, bro. You can only fucking respect what this guy Errol Spence is doing,
Yeah.
because Danny Garcia ain't no joke. Just like Transit Sports said, if he gets in the pocket, he got a serious punch. You know what I mean? Listen, Keith Thurman threw everything at him. Keith Thurman threw everything to Danny Garcia. But Danny Garcia's got a granite chin.
Mm-hmm.
And in the Sean Porter fight, bruv, when I keep watching that, it can go either way.
Hey, like we might be dealing with Errol Spence might be the type of guy that he might his pain threshold might be even stronger than it was before. We gonna find out. Real soon, real soon. You feel me? There's no way he can be the same. He's either gonna be, like it's gonna be more or it's gonna be less.
I mean, how can you be better from injuries like that? How does he come back better from that? You think he's got more of a hunger?
Definitely.
Man, let me ask Trends and Sport now. Let's get back to the real program now, bro. Errol the Truth Spence. How does he win this fight? He goes in there and he dominates this fight. He goes in there, bro, and he starts jabbing off Danny Garcia's head. He starts going to the body, head, body, head, body. And you know how Errol Spence does. Errol Spence got a great work rate. Errol Spence knows how to, you know what I mean? He knows how to weigh you down. And before you know it, if Danny Garcia thinks he's going to hurt Errol Spence might have just something ready for Danny Garcia. You see what I'm saying? And that might put Danny Garcia back into another position where he can't be dominant in what he's trying to do. So Errol Spence, I think, unanimous decision, 9 rounds to 3, Errol the Truth Spence Jr. I think it could be 8-4, unanimous decision. I don't see nobody getting stopped. I don't see no one getting knocked out. But if Danny Garcia does the unpredictable and he goes in there and he hurts Errol, by any chance he gets in there and he hurts Errol, and all of a sudden that changes the pace of the fight, then Danny Garcia got a chance to put a stop to the fight. Because you can't take it away from Danny Garcia. He has got a really great chance. Before the accident, he had a chance anyway. But majority knows Errol's gonna walk Danny Garcia down to the head, to the body. He's gonna put some licks in that guy. But let me go to Trends and Sports. How do you feel, man, about this big fight tonight, bruv? How do you think that Errol Spence is gonna win? And how does he win if he was gonna win?
Well, I already broke it down a little bit earlier. If you remember, I said to Errol, for Errol to win, he needs to use this jab because he just came back from a major accident, right? So he needs to use the jab to establish his the tone for the fight. And after that, he needs to be defensively responsible because you never know the punch can affect him. Because mentally, you never know what happens to a fighter after a horrible accident like that. So jab is first. Second is be defensive. Be very, very responsible when it comes to defensive skills. Third, just go to the body with Danny. Go to the body with Danny. Try to break Danny down from the first round to the last round. Keep going to the body, establishing that dominance. Be a bully sometimes, but be effective with it. Honestly, I think Errol just needs to box. He can't just start being dominant. He's not like a fighter a year before without the accident, because we never know what's going on in his head. We never know what's going through his mind when he gets hit. So we don't know. Physically, he's fine. Is he mentally prepared? Who knows, right? And he's the only one who knows. This is Danny Garcia we're talking about. This guy's a 2-time world champion, so 2-weight champion. So the jab is going to be a key factor. Being responsible when it comes to defense. Go to the body early and often to break down Danny Garcia. I think I kind of agree with you, Rapsar. He may go to like 8-4, maybe 9-3. I kind of see it as a split decision, maybe, but I think Errol can pull this one off if he box. But if he starts brawling with Danny, I don't think that's smart, especially after an accident.
Do you see any knockdowns, or do you see anything like a knockdown or anything?
I don't, unless if there's a huge hook by both men, because both men can be a good hooker, right? Danny's a good hooker. Errol Spence is a great hooker. I'm not quite sure. I mean, Danny has a good chin, and Earl has a good chin too. So we never know. But like last time when he fought Sean Porter, he got hit with a chin a lot, and he took it well. So, well, I'm not quite sure. I don't think so.
Well, it's certainly a very, very exciting night. I'm going to tell you straight, bro. All of us from England, we're excited. We're locking on. We're supporting this event. It's a big event. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, the fans are out in Texas. You know, they're at least getting these fights going on in Texas. So salute to Texas for getting these fights on, because we got our Callum Smith coming in from Liverpool in a short notice to fight Canelo Alvarez in Texas next, I think, which is not even a week or 10 days away. You know what I mean? So I got to tell you, man, we're excited. But anything can happen in boxing. Let's not forget, this is boxing, bro. And Errol Spence, I don't even know. I mean, I'm a big Errol Spence fan too. But this accident, bro, if this has got anything to do with him in his performance and his psychological, it doesn't affect him in any way, then I see Errol Spence winning this fight. UD. Even I see Errol Spence winning 9 rounds. 12 rounds for sure.
Hey, I got Errol Spence revealing what he feels are his keys to victory against Danny Garcia.
You got what?
Errol Spence reveals what he feels are his keys to victory against Danny Garcia.
How do you see the victory playing out? How do you see Errol Spence?
No, I'm saying we can listen to what Errol Spence says he feels are his keys to victory against Danny Garcia.
Yeah, but how do you see him winning, bro? I mean, do you see him winning 9 rounds, 10 rounds, 8 rounds, seven rounds, or do you see him knocking Danny Garcia out or down?
It can get. I think it can get really interesting if Errol, jumps out and like just takes round after round and starts to fight off like looking like it's going to be unanimous. I think those last 4 rounds, if Danny is down in the cards, it can get real interesting. Because all he's going to be doing is, throwing those bombs at everybody at least.
I'm sorry, I gotta go, brother. Peace.
All right, bro. Hey, Transcend Sport, man.
Good night,
Respect
okay.
for you coming in, man. I can't hear you, bro. Hey,
Yeah.
let me just say it as it is, bro. I am a Danny fan as well, yeah? But Danny's looked fucking bad. Let me just say this. Danny's looked bad in some fights against C+ and B- fighters. Just like what CPRS Incorporated says. Danny looked bad in the last fight against the Southpaw, Ivan Redcash.
Mm-hmm.
Danny has looked bad in some of those fights, bro. It's hard to give Danny that much momentum as well. I mean, he lost the Keith Thurman fight, facts. But on the Sean Porter fight, it could have gone either way. But in some of the fights that's been, like fights that you expect Danny to go and smoke these guys, it just didn't. He didn't look too good in some of them. And that's what puts me off of Danny sometimes. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Like I said, I like his punch. He's not a combination guy. He doesn't. His hands are not, spectacular, but his countering is above average. And his punching power for his size is above average.
Well, everyone smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be doing a live post. Well, yeah, we're going to do a post-fight live on the Danny Garcia Errol Spence fight. We're going to do the post-fight. We're definitely going to be doing the post-fight.
I'm going to give you 4 minutes of Errol Spence.
Yeah, no, and I want to just let everybody know we're going to do the post-fight live. I'm not going live for the actual fight. I'm going to be somewhere. But definitely going to be doing the post-fight live. I've got some good friends coming on. I'm sure you'll be coming on. Look, man, it's a big fight, bro. And this fight is going down. Errol Spence is coming back. Danny Garcia's coming back. It's going to be a good showdown. It's a big welterweight fight for us. We're supporting this event. We can't wait. We're hyped up because, you know, at the end of the day, we know Errol Spence has got a great jab, just like some of the chat says. We got to see if Danny Garcia can even get past Errol Spence's jab. You know what I mean? We got to see if Danny Garcia has even got a chance to be able to hurt Errol Spence.
Like, watch this. Hey, watch this. I'm going to ask you, Rapstar.
Yeah.
If the shoe was on the other foot and Danny was coming off of such an injury, would he take an Errol Spence fight?
No.
Yeah. You know, but like this guy.
I don't know. Well, it's hard to say yes or no as well because we don't know.
No. Watch this. You know why?
We got to ask this as well. Does he lose the belt if he don't take the fight?
No, I'm saying, watch this. Danny has fought. You know, he's fought nobodies. You know, not all. I'm just saying he has fought some bums. You know, we can't say that about Errol, and we can't say that he will ever fight a bum again. This guy just came off of this kind of injury, and he looks like he might be the Grim Reaper. If he takes down Danny Garcia, he's the Grim Reaper. He's coming back and he's mad as hell. You know what I mean? Because he could have lost it all, but he's back from he's back from the grasp of the grave almost. You know, so this guy is a Grim Reaper, and he might just mow through everybody in his weight classes, in the next weight class, next. I'm telling you, he might be a man on a mission, like he wants to expose people.
Yeah, where you at, Decal? You there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here.
I lost you there for a sec. But let's get to this message. We got loads of people in the house. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Press the notification. You know, we're cooking this boxing here for everyone.
Because
I want to get to some of the messages. D, if you can just give me a sec. Are you there, D?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let me just get to some of these messages, right? We got Rope-a-Dope Boxing in the house. We got Lance Mayer in the house. We've got people in the house. We've got CPRS in the house. You know what I mean? We got Trans in the house. We got everybody in the house right now. And Jeremy's in the house. But like I said, let's get to Rope-a-Dope's question, bro. I mean, Rope-a-Dope's saying Errol has a height and a reach, you know what I mean, advantage over Danny. And that's facts. And as well as he has a superior boxing skill set. And big up to Rapstar. And catch up soon, bro. Yeah, man, if you want to come on the chat, bro, just let me know and I'll send you the link. I'm only on for a little bit. And that's it, man. And I'm getting ready for the post fight. And we'll be cooking it up with you, Rope-a-Dope. But he makes a lot of sense there, doesn't it? D Calico. Errol's reach, his superior boxing skills, and just him as a fighter all round is better than Danny Garcia anyway, bro.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's better than Danny Garcia anyway. And how cheap did you think it was cheeky of Errol saying, come on, man? You heard what he said on ESPN to Stephen A. Smith. He said, a 70% of me beats Danny Garcia anyway. You heard that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think that's cheeky of him, or he believes that?
He's saying that I wouldn't, win every round if I was 70%. I wouldn't knock him out if I was 70%. You know, I would have a little trouble, but my overall, IQ and 70% ability would win that fight. Not to say, oh, I dominate him with 70%. That's saying I'm gonna knock you out in the first round because I'm 100%. So he's not saying that he's gonna knock him out. And I like that. He's pretty much giving Danny, like, it's so good to know your opponent. And it seems like Danny is the one talking like he don't know Errol, or maybe he knows some things we don't know. But Errol is showing respect, and that's That's pretty much something he does. He's done in the past.
Yeah, but
So
some people might say, right, D Calico, that that's not showing respect if you're saying that 70% of me beats Danny Garcia. You know what I mean?
oh yes, they got to sell tickets. You know, that's what we call wolf tickets. You know, because like I say, if 70% of him could beat Danny Garcia, it would be, you know, a split decision. It would be such a close fight. You know, it would be, you know, he had the claw. Like basically 70% of him cannot beat Danny. That's what we would say. But he won't. He doesn't agree with that. You know. So, but one thing about it, I don't think even 70% Errol. I don't even think a 7% Errol can get knocked out by Danny. He has to be a little less than that for Danny to knock him out.
Really?
Yeah, maybe a 70% can get knocked down, but I don't think he can get knocked out.
You don't think that
never
you don't think that Danny Garcia can drop Errol Spence no matter what?
If he's 100% or if he's 70%,
If it's 80%.
if he's 80%, he's not going there. He's not going to the ground. But he might show some weakness because nobody's never really hurt Errol Spence in the ring. It was one little time, you know, just like Terrence Crawford.
But you think that's Errol Spence being modest, saying, look, man, even if I'm 70-80% of myself, I'll beat Danny Garcia.
That's the Muhammad Ali in these guys. You know what I mean? You know, you got to do it. You know, that's the Terrell Owens in these guys. I'm just saying, you know, the greatest do it. That's what they do. They're going to talk it. That don't mean, you know, sometimes they're just luring you in. It's like saying, I want you to fight me a certain way. And if you fight me that certain way, oh, man, I'm going to beat you up. You know, so you got to talk these guys into those traps sometimes, you know.
So you think at the end of the day, Errol's going to be smart. He respects Danny Garcia as an opponent. He knows what he has to do in that ring. But
I think he's going to show us how strong he is, whether that means taking a punch or giving one. I think, you know.
But it's not, no. Let's never, ever question Errol the Truth Spence Jr.'s output resistance. Let's not question, his output efforts and how strong he is as a boxer. He's a strong dude. Yeah, we know Errol can hit. Errol can give it out. You know what I mean? But can he take it after this accident? Because he used to be able to take it before.
I mean, I'm almost 100% that it won't be as easy as Kell Brook, you know, because you know, Terrence Crawford did. I guess he did what Mike Tyson did, just made the fight go longer. Because the first time he punched him, it was over. I guess it took 4 rounds, you know, almost 4 rounds. But I don't think it's gonna be the first tap. You know, Errol Spence.
Yeah, but we can't compare this kind of fights. Kell Brook is a shot fighter. He got no resistance left in himself.
Yeah,
you know, he can only give it out,
but
he can't take it.
But nobody has been through what Errol Spence has been through. So it's like everybody's a pussy compared to Errol Spence right now. You know what I mean?
No. Come on, you know I'm a hardcore boxing man, and you know we got to talk, D Calico, and I love you in your boxing, and I know you love it. But Keith Thurman, he went back to back with Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, and became a unified champion when both of those guys were hot. When they were the best at their game. So Keith Thurman is another guy who's got one of the strongest resumes after Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather at the welterweight, because he beat these two guys back to back. Errol Spence, you can see, like Keith says, he fought these guys way after me. So people can say Keith Thurman's the man. He's the boogeyman. He got a better resume than all of them.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because I was just going to say, I'm willing to bet that if Errol Spence has a fight similar to Keith Thurman, against Danny Garcia, they're gonna say Danny won. Danny's gonna win if he has a similar fight. If Errol has a similar fight to Keith Thurman, because that was up for judges' discretion. That was that type of a match. A lot of people, go with Thurman, but I didn't see nobody dominating. I just seen Thurman being the aggressor, so I liked it that much. But he was paying for it. He was being the aggressor, but Danny was making him pay for it because Keith Thurman isn't all that technical, and he was coming in there all wild, and Danny was making him pay for it. So, if Errol had that kind of fight, then he's not gonna win. Not to say he can't survive that being that wild. It's just that the judges for some reason just chose they chose Keith Thurman. They could have chose either one of them. It could have been the tie. It could have really been the tie.
Yeah, but you agree, right? Keith Thurman, he was the first guy when he was one-time Keith Thurman who beat Danny Garcia and Sean Porter at their best. Then Errol Spence came along. So Keith Thurman's actually got a very good resume. If you think about it,
I always liked him.
He's got a very good resume.
I always liked him. And I think guys duck him, but nobody wants to say it because to me, if you won't fight Sean Porter, you won't fight Keith Thurman. And I don't think nobody will fight both of them back to back. That's why, like you say, I give Danny credit. At least fighting those two people. You feel me? But that's where he ran into those brick walls. So he knew Errol Spence was a level he just wasn't ready for. He just wasn't ready for.
But he got injured, if I'm not mistaken, after the Danny Garcia fight, and he had to take time off and give up his belt.
Mm-hmm.
And he came back from the injury. He's not looked so good.
Mm-hmm.
His second coming has been disappointing in the Josito Lopez fight. And he was very disappointing in that fight. Against Manny Pacquiao, well, we know what Manny is. Manny's a different breed. So if he turned out on Keith Thurman, there's no big surprise. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But Keith Thurman definitely belongs there. And he'll probably be gunning for the winner. But it's a real big fight. It's on tonight. It's here in the Texas Stadium. Everybody you better just get ready for this fight. How much is this fight costing you guys in America?
Like $75.
$75 pay-per-view. It's on. It's big money fight tonight.
Mm-hmm.
It's $75 pay-per-view. So I don't know if a lot of people will be behind it, but I think it'll do good numbers.
Oh, it's gonna do awesome because the Mike Tyson fight and the Roy Jones down here, the bars were packed, and they paid 75 or 50, like the Tyson fight, they paid the 50, and they put it on their television, and they charge everybody coming through the door $10, and we talking about hundreds of people. So, it's going down. It's going down. Trust me. It's going to be on every screen in America.
So the Texas fans are out there, right? How many fans they got in this stadium? More than 10,000?
I was wondering where they're going to have people in the stadium.
Okay. So they got tons of people over there. It's a big fight. It's on, mate. It's a huge fight. Errol Spence, he's going down, man. He's going to go. I mean, he's man down. He's coming back. And all the momentum's on his, is not on his side because of what he's been through. But look, it's a big fight. And Errol's coming back. Danny Garcia's coming back. And let's not forget, when Errol comes in the ring, it's going to be a big walk down. You know how he does it. He comes in like a star. He got Yellow Beezy probably rapping for him. He's going to have his, come down to some big music. So will Danny Garcia. It'll be a big, I'll tell you what's the very exciting part of this fight. And it's going to be this conspiracy theory with if Errol gets hooked by one of Danny Garcia's shots, if he gets hit or if he takes a big shot by Danny Garcia, how would he react? This is a big question right now, whether people like it or not. It's maybe because of the accident. It's what's happened. It's conspiracy theory. How does Errol Spence react if Danny Garcia can land one of those big shots? The boxing world wants to know. I want to know. But if Errol Spence is back and his granite chin can just take the shots, ain't nobody stopping him, bro.
Yeah,
Danny Garcia ain't winning this fight then, bro.
it's 10,000 fans that's gonna be at AT&T Stadium.
How many you got? 10,000 fans.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. At least you guys have got fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, probably about $1,000 a ticket. You know, times 10,000. You know, that's $1 million.
You think? Nah, they can't be all tickets. Can't be $1,000. They've got to be tickets for $200, $300, $150.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think so.
They got to spread everyone out, don't they?
Yeah, but you got to pay like you got a front row seat. You got to, no matter where you sitting, you know, you paying top dollar for, you know, you basically, you're going to be buying the seats next to you. You know, you got to pay for those.
Hey, bro, I don't know how much the tickets would be, but if it'd be $1,000 a seat, I mean, you're looking at spreading everyone out at 6 foot distance. I mean, I don't think people can afford $1,000 a seat. And what happens to the fans, which are, you know, average fans, your boxing fans, who actually love the game? Ain't they going to get the $150, $200 tickets?
See, that would be when you have nosebleed seats and all of that kind of stuff. There is no nosebleeds. It's gonna be all, you know, the best seats. The best seats are gonna be filled. The best seats in the house.
All right. Well, we just can't wait for the fight tonight. And I hope everybody gets locked onto Rapstar Boxing Knowledge on the post-fight. We'll be going live for the Errol Spence, Danny Garcia post-fight. We'll be cooking it up with some of the boxing brothers. And I want you to come back on that one, D Calico. But yeah, man, get ready, bro. And it's on, man. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, bro. It's on. And I'm not going to really cook it anymore, too much more than that. I just want to say, God bless Errol Spence. God bless Danny Garcia. I hope the best man wins. Before this whole fight, I had Errol Spence beating Danny Garcia anyway, bro. And it wasn't like I had Danny Garcia winning. So I give Danny a good chance. And, you know, if I was a betting man, of course, you know, some people are betting on Danny Garcia because they think Errol Spence might not be able to take the shot. But I don't think Derek James or Errol's camp, and especially his dad, who's always with him, would send him in a ring when they offered him a tune-up fight. But, you know, he's taking Danny Garcia straight away after those horrific injuries. But he's had 11 months. And, you know, he's had 11 months. He's come back. And I think he's ready. I think there's no problem with him, D Calico.
I think it's been 13 months. You know, he's been, you know, since the injury. Anyways. You know, it's been a little over a year. It was October 2019.
Okay, well, he's had more than enough time to recover, right? And if there was anything wrong with Errol, they've had more than 10 months 8 months of training, haven't they?
I mean, to satisfy us, we would say that yes, he's that. But I don't think it's not. You know, there's not many human beings on earth that would be going back to work. He's going back to boxing. He's not going back to work. He's going back to boxing. And there's not many humans that would be back to work, no matter where it could be an office job, unless they're gonna be in there with a body cam. Like, you know, there's not many people that would have. But when this guy was like, you know, he pretty much walked out of that crazy accident. Like there's nobody we can compare to him. And you know, the only worry is, like you say, you know those dentals, them and having those veneers or whatever. We're gonna see what that do. You know?
But let me ask you this. People expecting Errol maybe can knock out Danny Garcia or stop Danny Garcia. I've never seen anybody do that. I've never ever seen anybody put Danny Garcia in a position or that vulnerable where
Danny,
Danny Garcia looked that bad. Even when he lost to Keith Thurman, he didn't look that bad. And you know what? 7-5. It was like he won 5 rounds. It was 7-5 with the judges.
like those like Thurman and Porter being his best fights, that speaks volumes. That means he's never really he never fought someone that was a better boxer than him. Never. Other than, this guy Herrera. Everybody in the comments is talking about how Herrera outboxed Danny. Danny Garcia. So Spence is a well-known boxer, and the video game would simulate him beating a Danny Garcia because of the skill level. But like we say, this is real life, so it's gonna come down to the past and the present.
I mean, you can win a lot of money if Danny Garcia is the underdog. So if you think Errol Spence has got any weak points or there's any time to expose Errol, this is your chance. Because at the end of the day, if there's any reason or anything could be wrong, or his resistance can't take a shot, then you can win a lot of money. But like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with Errol. He's ready. He's ready to go. There's nothing wrong with the man. He's been sparring 170 plus. Like you said, his sparring partners are 175, 180, some of them. Burley Brooks. You just gave us an interview with Burley, didn't you?
Yeah.
So we know Errol's been in the ring. We know he's been conditioned. We know he's been taking shots from these guys. And he's obviously been sparring with his elite people. So Derek James ain't going to put him in with fucking Danny Garcia. And Errol's not coming straight away asking for a cherry pick fight. He wants the Danny Garcia fight. And Danny Garcia wanted that fight before the accident as well. So you got to respect Danny Garcia too. Because Danny Garcia is not coming now after the accident. Do you remember Danny Garcia came in the ring? And he said, I've seen enough. I want to fight Errol. This was before the accident. Right, D. Calico?
Yeah.
So Errol never forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. See what it is? I mean, to me, at that point, it was like he was ready to self-implode. Like, hey, I'm ready to lose, but I want to make that, I want to make that money, because this is, he probably dreamed of this day. Like, whoa, I'm going to make a lot of money if I fight Errol Spence. And now that dream is about to come true tomorrow. Like, those pay-per-views are going to do numbers, and after the fight, it's just going to be even more talked about. It's going to be the fight of this year.
Well, let me ask everybody this then. Just like what Lance May is saying. I know Danny's got a huge resume and he fights. He's a strong fighter. Been watching him from a long time. And Danny smoked the 140 division. He was the man at 140. If Spence beats Danny Garcia convincingly or even drops him and beats him, he's going to be classed as one of the greatest welterweights because his resume gets stronger. He goes up in the pound for pound for me. And this will do great things for Errol Spence. If Errol Spence comes back after such a bad situation, but he comes back stronger and he puts a good win against Danny Garcia, this will do a lot for him and his credibility in the boxing world. He'll be put up in the pound for pound if he beats Danny Garcia like nobody else has. You get me?
Yeah, well, definitely. That's what I mean. Like, nobody has outclassed him, and Errol Spence is a class act in the boxing ring, but he loves to show that he has that dog in him. And if that dog comes out, from time to time or whatever against, then it's going to be a good sign, but, even without bringing the dog out, I think his class, he can win with class.
But what I'm saying is, bro, I've never seen nobody put a dent in Danny Garcia.
But you never seen nobody that can really hit him with any combinations you know, or just really expose him just a little bit. Like nobody's really exposed him, not even really a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, let's get to the CPRS Incorporated. Errol will have to invest in the body and attack that. The only way he can get a knockout is by keep attacking that body. How do you feel about that, D Calico? Is that a good way of breaking it down?
I just don't see it happening with Danny or Errol, not with the body. What I'm looking forward to, you know, if there's a TKO involved and you know Errol does something to Danny, I would assume that it's gonna be Danny getting cut for the first time. You know, Danny could actually get cut in this fight, and that could change things dramatically. You know, because that'll give Errol a specific to attack. It's like you came to hurt me, but I'm finna hurt you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's get to rope dope boxing. One of my brothers from England. You know what I mean? A very knowledgeable guy. D Calico. He's met the greats of the people just like you love, like Nigel Benn, Mike Tyson, Nassim Hamid. Um, you know, the man's been all over the world. We met Miguel Cole, Joshua Clotty, and imagine this. One of my close friends, he's met Sweet Pete, Sweet Pernell Wicker, Sweet Pete, the man, the myth, the legend. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And got good brothers in the chat right now. He got a question. Let me get to the question, bro. So Errol, so Rope-a-Dope Boxing says Errol would get credit if he stopped him. Okay. So Errol would get more credit as a pound for pound if he stops Danny because nobody's done it. But if he wins a points victory, they'll say it's a good victory. At least he's back. But it's a victory like Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. You know what I mean?
So basically, no matter which one,
Rope-a-Dope said that, yeah.
no matter which one of them wins, they're gonna get treated like Devin Haney because they're not gonna get a knockout in this fight. This fight here, you're not gonna get a knockout. It's just not gonna happen. You know. So being that neither one of them gonna knock each other out, that means no matter who wins, they're gonna they're gonna get talked about. You know, the same way everybody did the Haney Gamboa fight. You know, just because it didn't end in a knockout, everybody just counted it as almost like a draw.
Yeah, but the problem with Danny Garcia, people seem to forget he has problems with good boxers.
Mm-hmm.
You look at what Amir Khan was doing to Danny Garcia before he got hit with that shot.
Mm-hmm.
He was fucking outboxing Danny Garcia in every fucking round. Zab Judah even hurt Danny Garcia and outboxed him in some of that fight.
Yeah, because that was Garcia's best victory to me. The one with Zab Judah.
Yeah, Zab Judah even showed him a little something in that fight, bro. Amir Khan was winning all them fucking rounds until he got careless and got knocked out. I mean, he didn't get knocked out, but he got hurt, and then he was jelly on his feet after that, and then the ref stopped the fight after that. But Danny gets outboxed a lot.
Yeah, like
you know what I mean.
Like that was impressive the way Danny whooped up on Zab Judah. That was like I said, that was his most impressive victory to me. And like I say, the same way he bloodied Zab Judah, he could get blooded for the first time because I expect Spence to be the Grim Reaper. I'm telling you, he might be the new Grim Reaper of boxing. He's back from the grave almost. Like I say, I'm telling you, this man might be on a real mission. Hold on, let me get this for you.
Builder, what up, homie?
What's up? I like how you hear crank.
Because I'm nice with the dice, man. 4, 5, 6. I wish I could do what you do, but that's why you get paid the big bucks, right?
Are you nice with the dice?
Nice with the dice. Shout out to you. Big fight going down Saturday, December 5th on Fox Sports PBC pay-per-view. I used to live in Dallas, and I know you're the Soto guy.
just to see somebody from the area representing at this high level, because I used to root for like the Corey Hadleys of the world and see them get on that big stage, but you did it.
Man, I feel good, man. I mean, I'm blessed. This is my second chance, you know, to make something happen, and you know, I won't let it go by the wayside. You know, I wanted a tough opponent, something that somebody gonna talk about, and you know, and I feel like Danny Garcia is that guy. So everybody got Twitter December 5th to see a great show and a great performance on myself.
Now, Errol Spence Jr., this is your first fight back since that car accident that, man, a lot of people couldn't have walked away from. You're looking tough, you're looking unbreakable, and, you know, Danny Garcia ain't no slouch either. What's your keys to victory as you walk into this upcoming fight?
For me, the keys to victory is just, you know, stay smart, you know, continue to fight how I've been fighting, and, you know, focus 100%, listen to my coach, and follow the game plan. I feel like, you know, everything gonna play itself out.
When you're boxing, you know, you spend so many months, weeks training, right? Are you happier when you get a guy in and out of there, like real early in the fight? Or do you feel like, all right, all that training I did was worth it if it goes the distance? You know, you worked for all that.
Man, like I said, you don't get paid for overtime. So, I mean, for me, you know, if I gotta get them out there in the first round, then, you know, I get to go home to my family, kiss my kids, you know, and then suffer any punishment. So, I mean, I'd rather have it, you know, a knockout early than you know, a win in the 12th round and things like that. Because that means you've been hit and you probably got a bruise and swollen eye and all that type of other stuff. So, if I get them out in the first round and be fresh and come back, you know, 2-3 months later, then, you know, it's a blessing.
Now, when you look at your tail of the tape, there's a lot of impressive wins on there. But personally, for you, Errol Spence Jr., what was the win that meant the most to you?
To me, probably Kell Brook, because my first world title, and, you know, winning a world title in his hometown. So, you know, I feel like that was you know, my moment.
Is there a bigger, like, you know, rush of electricity in your body when you're walking out into the ring, when you hear the pop of the crowd, you know, your theme music come on or whatever song you're coming out to? Or is it more of a, you know, electrifying feeling once the fight is over, you got your hand raised and you hear that crowd?
You know, it's probably coming to the ring. I mean, when the fight's over, you know, with me, I just be relieved that it's over. So, I mean, for me, it's probably walking to the ring and hearing the crowd and, you know, your music and people cheering for you, booing you, whatever the case may be. You know, I feel like that's what gets me going and get me pumped up.
Do you meditate or do anything to take your mind off of the fact, especially like day of the fight? Like, hey, later on today, someone's going to try to punch me in my face a lot. Like, how do you take your mind off of that? Or what goes through your brain mentally to help you navigate through the day and not be on edge?
For me, I mean, it's something that, you know, I've been doing. So I've been doing it every day nonstop. So it's just a regular day for me. For me, man, I be sitting watching TV, chilling, talking to my people, you know. I mean, I'm relaxed. As long as my body feels good, I feel good. So, you know, I'm just laying around, preserving my energy.
It's going down live at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington. Tickets are available right now with SeatGeek. This is the champion right here, Errol Spence Jr. And be sure you check this out Saturday, December.
Yo, Rob Star.
Hey, I'm back.
Hey,
Thanks for that interview. Errol Spence is ready. He ain't got no problems. He will not take the Danny Garcia fight. I think at the end of the day, tell me how you feel about him in the weigh-in. Does he look weak? Or is that always how Errol looks? He looks very slim.
yeah, but he just really, you know, it's cardio and all that is really on another level right now for sure. Like the way he's working out, like, you know, a lot of the so-called greats didn't always go this hard. Like, you know, for one, he had to go this hard to rehabilitate himself, but I think that's gonna pay dividends.
All right, D Calico. I can't wait for the fight tonight. I'm going to catch you up on the post-fight. So I think by the time it finishes, it will probably be about 11:30, 12 o'clock midnight in America by the time the fight finishes. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And I'll catch you up for the post-fight. But to the chat and to the panel, I mean, and to everybody who tuned in today, don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button, man. You know, it's fucking free to smash that like button. Just, press that like button, notification, subscribe to the channel. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, it's on. It's here. It's here today. It's here tonight. We can't wait. And I'm just going to say this. Is Errol Spence back? Is he coming back to smoke Danny Garcia? Is he coming back for then he's coming back for Terence Crawford fight? And in saying that, Terence Crawford better fucking make some noise. He needs to be involved. He should have go over to Texas and should have put himself there present after the fight. But, that's another question. That's another show. Errol Spence coming back. Danny Garcia. Can Danny Garcia hurt Errol? Can he somehow get any shots off? We don't know. All I can say is that Errol Spence is definitely the favorite. Errol Spence is definitely the guy who people know should win this fight. Everyone else out there, Rapstar, subscribe to Rapstar Boxing Knowledge. We can't wait for the fight. Lance, CPRS, Rope-a-Dope, everybody else.
Lance Maya, peace.
Yeah, D Calico, tell everybody how they can find you, bro, before we exit the building.
You already know. It's D Calico on YouTube, DEE Calico. Shout out to Lance Meyer and all the other real ones in the chat. All the pros, you already know.
Yeah, we're over and out, man. Errol Spence, Danny Garcia. We'll speak to everybody after the fight. It's on. It's here. Let's go. We out.
Yeah.